Hello and welcome to I Want to Grow, and I Want to Grow is all about that. You hear me say this so many times, but today is a special day because we're celebrating today the British Council, and the British Council it's their anniversary, their 90th anniversary, and we're so proud to be a part of this. And so over this next few weeks, we're going to be going over some guests that have been instrumental with the work that the British Council and obviously the work they do here in Qatar. And it's not about our growth. Everybody wants to grow. But with these guests, it's all about how they've helped others grow. We're kicking off with you, Mr. Abdulrahman. Thank you so much for coming in, celebrating with us today. For me, is a big, humbling experience. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me, Steve.
Yeah, thank you so much indeed. Please, to start with, can you just introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do?
Okay, well, my name is Abdulrahman Al-Ishaq. I joined Qatar Museums in 2018. And in the past 6 years, I've been working on public art. I'm the director of public art at Qatar Museums. So many people ask, what is public art generally? I would say, have you seen the teddy bear, yellow teddy bear at the airport?
Yes.
Yeah, I take care of that teddy bear. So I make sure he's washed, he's clean, he's conserved, and we install artwork around Doha, around Qatar. It's part of taking the art and culture outside of museums and placing them in public spaces.
And when somebody came to you and said, we want you to take care of this, what was your initial response with this role?
Well, my background is architecture. I was in the real estate industry. And my background is architecture and urban design. So when they approached me from the side of city planning. So we want to know where to place things. We want someone who is experienced with project management. And I understood that this is how the angle of where they want my experience or my expertise to be. I was excited. It's a risk because I'm changing my career. I'm going from architecture into art and culture. And it's a big step, but it was an excellent step. I mean, it's very exciting. It's very fast-paced, something I didn't expect. It's not like in real estate, things take time. Yeah. Back then, when I was in real estate and development, I didn't feel that it took time. I felt things are very fast. But with public art, with art in general, it's very fast.
And I suppose you've got things coming from all angles. So people want you to be able to focus on different areas, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, each artwork is a different project. Some artworks are sculpture, some of them are video, some of them are like some sound, technical stuff. So each project we approach is something new. It's a learning experience. And in this process, it's a learning process for me and for the team and for everyone involved.
Wow, that's a good one. Yeah. Now, you talked about the yellow teddy bear, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm just looking at that. That's iconic now. Did you realize it was going to be that big when that all came about?
Well, it was before my time. But the story behind it, the lore, Her Excellency wanted it to be in the airport. And there was some resistance. And why would that be in the airport? It doesn't fit. This is an airport and this is a yellow teddy bear. But now, fast forward, you cannot imagine Doha Hamad International Airport without the teddy bear. You cannot imagine.
You cannot. You just can't.
And you cannot put a price on it.
Yeah. I agree. And we all take a picture of that teddy bear when we're leaving.
Yeah. The PR alone.
Yeah.
I mean, you could bring any PR consultant and pay them how much, and you cannot achieve the level that an artwork has achieved just by being there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I'm looking at that and understanding that now. Whoa, that's a big one, and it's a big responsibility to get it right. So you're dealing with lots of big things. Let's go to the British Council. We're celebrating their 90 years in existence. They've done some amazing things, and I'm really proud that I could say that I'm from UK. I'm British, because I see the work that they do, and it's just phenomenal. What was your first what did you do with them in the very beginning? How did it all begin with you with the British Council?
Well, how did it begin? From work or from living?
From both.
From well, I mean, it's 90 years. It's older than my father. Yeah, when you put it in this way, it's a long time. They are very integral to Qatar history right now, and my memories during summer or on certain breaks, we go learn English. Everybody goes to the British Council to learn English, and I think I owe them a couple of things that I broke there. So, but I have fond memories of being there, going every year and going learning English and preparing for my TOEFL and all of that stuff. But in regards of work, of course, have a good relationship with Dr. Wasim, and he approached us, and he's been very active. It's to be honest, it's rare. It used to be rare to have entities that are interested in art, at least in Doha.
Yeah.
But the British Council have been focused on that. They know the value of it, so they've been very keen, because their experience in outreach, they know that art is a window to the soul of people, or the heart of people. Yeah. So that's how we started a couple of projects, and we still have continued work with them.
Oh,
yeah.
And I've got a question, and I'll go through some of the questions so that we can capture most of it. As the head of public art for the Qatar Museum, how do you see the role of public art in shaping the cultural and urban landscape of Qatar, and what projects have been particularly impactful?
I usually say, if you look at any city, and if you just look at the skyline, it gives you an impression. But if you look at the artwork, the collective artwork in the city, it gives you an impression of what the community there believe or think. It could be a collage of things, but it gives you an impression of what they believe in, what is their identity, what are their standards, their causes. And if you look at Doha, the public art today does reflect the national identity. And the national identity, if you look at the artwork in Doha, it has a mixture of Qatari artists' artworks, international artists. It shows how we are open to the world and how we want the world to perceive us. And also it tackles important issues for Qataris. For example, the Miraculous Journey sculpture in front of Sidra Hospital.
Yes.
It's a huge artwork which had controversy in the beginning. But the cause of it is the reason of it is to shine a spotlight on the issue of women's health and the child's health.
Yeah.
And it was inspired from the Quran, where the Quran has these all phases, and the artist created these phases in a sculpture.
Yeah, and I remember because there was some debate about them when they came in first. But now it's a celebration of humanity, right? That's where we all begin. And we should celebrate that, because that's how humanity is created.
That's true. And public art reflects how people feel. If when we place an artwork, if it's celebrated, then that's good. If debate happens over it, that's also good.
Very much so, I believe. Yeah, of
that's
course.
also good. It's because it encourages dialogue, and it encourages debate, and encourages to talk about things. For example, the Miraculous Journey created a lot of dialogue, and it opened doors for other discussions about identity and culture and religion, and people were talking, but in a civil way.
Yeah,
and that's the whole goal of it.
But that's what I like about Qatar too, right? It's I'm an expat, but I like this dialogue. I like things that provoke dialogue, because we've got generations that are continually coming forward, right? And it's right that we should be talking about these things, because we've got to see it from everybody's position. And I just look at the things that you're discussing now, and this is exactly what you guys are doing, and it's testament to yourselves. I just want to touch on one thing, because if I didn't, it would be wrong. 2022, that must have been gigantic for you.
Well, we had a collaboration with the British Council and Qatar Foundation in an event called Outside the Box. and it was just right before COVID hit, and it was the biggest gathering we had, and it was, to me, it was very important because after COVID everything went down. Public art kind of like, we still worked from home, but we had what do you call it when you cannot go outside? What do you call it? Quarantine? Or what do you call
Quarantine.
it?
Yeah, we
Is
were
it?
all in
We were in
quarantine. Yeah, we
quarantine.
were all in quarantine.
Yeah, but that was the last gathering. It's like the last barbecue. It was something like that, and it was fully packed. And we had it in the Qatar National Library, and we celebrated also a British artist that was curated by the British Council. Her name was 𝗚𝗥𝗢𝗪. She created this amazing interactive artwork, which I think it was by SMS, that you send an SMS and it changes words, and it was very interactive and very successful. It was moved to several places around Doha. The gathering was amazing, and then when COVID hit, you miss this kind of celebration and dialogue and discussion and meeting everybody in the field. Yeah.
And we talked about COVID. You must have been pulling your hair out because it's about public art, and you wanted to get going again. You wanted to keep on improving and it must have been frustrating for you.
Well, I don't want to say it's anything that will be held against me, but we did work during COVID because there was what they call it, social distancing.
Yeah, of course.
What we did, we created murals for those who were in quarantine. They stayed for long periods at that time, as a gesture to relieve kind of this loneliness there. We created murals and we placed it in the quarantine for blue collar workers, and I think it was successful. But when people ask us, how did this happen, when did you do it, we just keep silent.
But I think that's testament to yourselves, how you are constantly thinking about how you can improve life for others.
Yeah.
And when we needed that, congratulations, because we all needed something to lift our spirits.
Definitely. Yes.
The one thing that stands out for me, especially is the murals that you put on the side of the bridges sometimes, going towards 𝗚𝗥𝗢𝗪. I love those. The paintings, and the one with the coffee, offering somebody a coffee and a hand. It was, for me, everything that you're saying, it just springs to mind for me. So again, congratulations on that stuff.
Thank you. I cannot take credit for all the murals in Doha. We do have an initiative called Jidari Art. Jidari means wall in Arabic, Jidar. So Jidari Art is an ongoing program that encourages murals around Doha, and we worked with the British Council on the murals. We worked with Ashghal and other entities, and the idea is to bring this culture. We don't have graffiti culture in Doha, but we have a lot of walls. We have all this infrastructure, and it's a shame if we do not use it as canvas. So today you see them everywhere, whether it's through public art or independent. And we encourage that. That's what we want in Qatar Museums. We want this to be encouraged. We want art to flourish in Doha.
We're in M7.
Yes, absolutely.
And the creativeness in M7 is quite staggering.
Amazing, yeah.
And what you're doing for the next generation and people that like art and they like this creativeness, oh my word, you're doing some big things here, and big things for everybody. Anybody that is interested in this, you're really at the forefront of trying to bring the best out in people. It's fantastic to see.
Well, the vanguard is Her Excellency Sheikh Al-Mayasa bint Hamad Al-Thani. She has a vision, she has a goal, and she's relentless.
Relentless, which it's so powerful. It's so, and that's the infectious thing is everybody seems to catch it. Everybody wants to help others, and that's when the name of the podcast, I Want to Grow, because Qatar is continually growing. There is no fear. It's just a matter of just keeping going forward and helping as many people as you along the way. So yeah, I'm glad we spoke about that. That's for sure. Public art often brings together diverse communities and audiences. How has your collaboration with the British Council or international organisations helped in promoting cross-cultural exchange through public art in Qatar?
Well, I have to go back to something that Her Excellency said. She said we want to globalize the local and localize the global. And that's kind of what guides us. When we place an artwork by an international artist in Doha, we hope that the spotlight is, or the cameras and the media focuses on that artwork, but during this focus, it focuses on other stuff and other artists that are in Doha. And with, for example, during the World Cup, we installed a lot of, about 30 artworks around Doha. And a lot of them were from Qatari artists. So when the media talks about the artworks and public artworks in Doha for the World Cup, definitely the Qatari artists take center stage, and they are celebrated internationally. That's one example. We have what is called a year of culture, and during the year of culture, each year there is like a sister country that we do the exchange. We have an exchange of artists, and an artist from that country comes to Doha, an artist from Doha goes to that country, and there are exhibitions and workshops and all of that's happening. So I mean, I could go on and on this.
I know.
But one of the main things is the year of culture. One of the most important years of culture is Qatar UK, and that's where we had the biggest collaboration with the British Council. And through the British Council, we're trying to revive that year of culture. So it's the legacy of that year of culture is through the British Council.
I'm very proud of what the British Council does, and the relationship the UK has with Qatar. So it's really great for me. I take some really great privilege in being part of this whole journey. What is the relationship with you with the British Council? How has it been for you? If you sum it up as quickly as possible, what did the British Council mean to you?
I look at the British Council as a cultural institution. And culture is one of the things that lasts longer than anything else. Trade, for example, when the business is done, the business is done. But culture lingers, I would say, for the lack of words. And the experience they have in Doha, 90 years, definitely adds to whatever effort we have, or whatever effort we're trying to exert in the sector of culture. So we do learn from the British Council the ways they've done things, and they are a very important partner to us because they've been in this field. I mean, their stakeholders are our stakeholders, and they are a very important stakeholder for Qatar Museums in general.
And I couldn't end this on a better answer. You said you didn't prepare. That was fantastic, because normally, as you said, the culture, it normally comes from here.
Yes.
So thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you, Steve, for having. Thank you.